Okay, I think everybody has trickled in now. So, hello everybody, and welcome to our Unity is the Future webinar. I'm Matt, I'm Social Media Manager here at Info Group and the Home of Skills and Technology in Salford, and I will be just supporting this webinar tonight and acting as host. We are joined by industry experts. So we are joined by Jerome Delaney from Unity. He is a senior technical engineer. And then we are joined by Simon Benson, Dr. Maria Stukoff, as well as other industry experts, such as, sorry, my mind has gone blank. Taran Singh, Simon Smith, Andrew Connell. Apologies for that. You can practice all you want, but it never goes quite right. So I'd like to introduce you, first and foremost, to CEO of Info Group and operator of the Home of Skills and Technology, Mo Isap, who will be introducing the Unity Academy to everybody.
Thank you, Matthew. Can you hear me okay? Matthew, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Mo. Go ahead.
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks, Dee. You did a great job there, Matthew. Never easy, especially in this world of Zoom and video calling. I think everybody's itching to get back into face-to-face, and hopefully in the next few months we should be able to do that. Want to just thank everybody for coming along and attending our Unity is the Future webinar. We've got some amazing speakers, as Matthew has said. This evening is going to be full of inspiration. It's going to be full of education, and I hope it'll be full of action as well, because we at Info, and just a bit of potted history about myself and what we're doing at Info. I spent my entire career starting and scaling businesses in a sort of a technology area. I started first in the mid-90s, where we brought digital printing to the market in the Northwest, and grew that business. And then latterly I grew one of the largest 3D printing companies, and we used 3D modeling to actually, we put the Queen in a headset while she was looking at her Windsor farm shop, which she was extending, and we did also Buckingham Palace as well. So using technology with royalty was quite a pleasurable experience in growing businesses in tech. And latterly, we've set up Info Group. And one of the reasons for setting up Info Group, and one of the reasons why today is so important, is Info is about serendipity. And I was thinking about this, and in life, we all have occasions where we have serendipitous occasions that passes. And I was looking at my career and how many of those moments had happened to me by chance. And I'm telling you, as an entrepreneur, 90% is chance. And it's that chance moment of a meeting or a conversation or an introduction that then turns into the opportunity. And serendipity is part of Info, because what I set up Info to do is to create as many serendipitous occasions and moments as possible, so that the most amount of people can take advantage of the technological opportunities that we face in front of us. Unfortunately, not everyone takes that, has that opportunity to encounter the sort of webinar that we have today, and the sort of people that we have within our panel today. Amazing people, world-leading people that are now within your reach. This is serendipity. And what we do at Info is create as many of these occasions as we can, so that people can have that opportune occasion of benefit. But with serendipity comes opportunity, but it's how you actually react to that. That's the difference. How do you take that opportunity, that chance encounter, and turn it into a real opportunity? And we, over the last 12 months, we've done a lot of this serendipitous activity, and a lot of people have taken advantage of it. And we've got many case studies of people who've come to our academies. We're an Amazon academy as well. Many people have joined our academy there just by chance. They were on Facebook on Instagram. They saw an advert, one of our prospectuses, one of our influencers posted it. They happened to inquire. Now they're working with a world conglomerate as their cloud engineering engineer. We've had programs where we support entrepreneurs and freelancers, where women freelancers have been supported by us over a program called Freelancer 100. Serendipitous moment, over a glass of wine in the evening, somebody sent a Facebook advert, joined this program, and all of a sudden they took action, and now their business is flourishing. And I hope today in this audience, there are people who are going to listen to our panel, listen to our team about what we are giving an opportunity to. We are giving an opportunity to 30 people. It's a limited, sort of space academy, first of its kind, center of excellence in the UK, Unity training programmer, certified programmer developer academy, first of its kind in the UK. And you'll hear from Jerome about the power of Unity. But I want today for everyone here to look at the power of serendipity. That today you'll be sitting here, by chance you may have come across this webinar, somebody might have sent you a link. You are here, maybe by chance, but now it's your turn to turn it into opportunity. And I hope at the end of this hour, you will reach out to our team. Like I say, we've only got a select number of spaces, first and unique of its kind. And what we are committing to here is that if you take advantage of this serendipitous moment, we will support you into a career with Unity as the main skill set, that you will take that into an employer that we will support you with. That's a huge undertaking that we're committing to today, that for those 30 individuals who join our academy from the 21st of June, we will take upon ourselves to take you into that career opportunity. Now, that's never been done in the UK, and we are the first in the UK to have this status as a center of excellence. And that's what I really want to get across in this opening introduction, that this is a very much an opportunity that we've created, we've worked hard to create, so that you guys can take that opportunity and benefit from a world-class career in a world-class industry with a world-class skill set. And you'll hear from an amazing panel of people who've already achieved great things in their own rights in industry. And these are the same people that you will learn from in that academy. These are the same people that will be mentoring you, will be nurturing you, will be honing your skills to be world beaters. And I'm just going to tell a small story, and then, as many of my team will know, that I never say anything without a story. And I want to just touch on how many people know who invented the microwave. Probably not many. If there are any, put a post in, and I'll be very impressed if you do know who the inventor of the microwave is, because I want you to, every time you see the microwave next, and those of you who've not got a microwave, you're probably spending too much money on Uber Eats or Just Eat. But Percy Spencer was the inventor of the microwave in 1946. And he was experimenting with magnetrons and radar tubes. And he was experimenting, and one day he found it, he was doing something, and he got a tingle in his trousers. And I'm not talking about that sort of tingle, guys, so don't get excited. It's not that sort of webinar. But there was a tingle in his trousers because he had a chocolate bar in his trousers, and the chocolate bar started to melt. And through that, he started to experiment with other foods with this radar tube, and that's where the microwave was invented. Now, Percy, if you look at his, and then he joined this global defense company called Raytheon. They patented the microwave in 1947, and the rest is history. 20 years later, the microwave entered the consumer market, and the rest is history. But Percy grew up as an orphan, left school at 12, worked in a mill, and found his way into the army. And after the army, he went and got a job at Raytheon, and he started to experiment. He wasn't educated, he wasn't trained professionally, but what he had was a curious mind, and one that he experimented with. And he put himself into an environment where he could actually see how that curious mind could be served. At the end of his career, he left as a group director of Raytheon, 300 patents to his name. and the inventor of the microwave, but he only got $2 for that. You know, that was the shame of it. They only got a royalty from Raytheon. Raytheon took all the rest of the goodies. But anyway, but why I tell that story is that there was a serendipitous moment for Percy when he experimented and he found that one thing that happened, and then he actually did something with it. And what you will find with the Unity Academy is many, many of those moments. If you take that upon yourself and invest in yourselves, we will do the rest, and we will support you to then excel your career going forward. That's what Info does. That's what our business does. That's what I've set up Info Group to do. That's our reason for existing. And that's why we are encouraging as many of you guys who are listening today and who will be inspired by Jerome and by our other panelists today, at the end of which I want you to think about Percy, look at the microwave, and look at yourself, and look at the serendipitous moment that you find yourself in right here, right now, and what are you going to do about it? And we are here waiting for you to help you then take that opportunity and turn it into something that you'll look back in 3 months and 6 months and a year to say, you know what, that was the moment that actually changed my life. And that's what Info does. We're actually here to change people's lives, change people's destiny from where you are today to where you can be. And we take it upon ourselves. That's why I established Info. We're not doing this just for purely just, you know, commercial reasons, or we're just a business. Yes, we're a very successful business, but we're absolutely embedded into giving people the opportunity and the tools to change their fortune and have the skills and work in an environment that can truly be world beating and be your moment to then take that opportunity and that chance occasion, which I'm sure many of you came about to come here today. So don't take it now as a chance. Now you're here. Take control of your destiny. And that's what Unity is the Future is all about today. So I'll end there, and I will have great pleasure in handing you over to Jerome, who spent probably a quarter of a century in this immersive, you know, technological, you know, arena, and now is one of the senior people within the sort of vanguard of Unity. And we're so privileged to have him here today, for him to share with us where Unity is right now, where it's going, and how revolutionary and how fortunate we are to have Unity as our partner, Silicon Valley behemoth, who has sort of landed in the UK and now presence with host at Media City with us. And he has now the opportunity to train in this amazing arena of technology and you know, life-changing technology, technology that's doing good. And that's something I'm sure everyone in this audience is passionate about. That how do we take technology and make the world a better place? You know, the whole sort of post-COVID world is requiring great technologists like you guys to come in and use the technology for making the world a better place, whether it's in health or whether it's in you know, consumer experience or, you know, education or whatever else it is. We know that this is such a fundamental part of our future, about net zero, about sustainability. This is the technology that's going to help us do it. And you're the people who are going to be at the frontier, the pioneers, the Percys of the world who are going to actually make it happen. So that's it for me. And I'm going to hand over to Jerome to enlighten us with Unity. Thank you, Jerome.
Thank you so much, Mo, for a fantastic intro. Let me just share my screen quickly. There we go. So thank you for host and to host me today and let us present. My name is Jerome Delaney. As mentioned, I'm a senior technical specialist here at Unity. I act as an ambassador for Unity in the growth areas of new industries, specifically automotive, transport, and manufacturing. That's where I specialize and spend most of my time. I have about 2 decades, as mentioned, working in immersive or experiences in general, and about 10 years working with Unity, and joined Unity in 2018 after spending many years, as Mo was mentioning earlier, working as a technical director or lead Unity developer, right? And I worked across many industries, including avionics with Airbus or Panasonic Avionics, for example. Tata also was one of my customers, but also architectural visualization through Herzog de Meuron or Zaha Hadid architects. Today's talk is about the real-time revolution. And as Mo rightly said, right, Unity actually shares some of the core beliefs mentioned. And one of those is that we believe the world is a better place with more creators in it, right? This is at the heart of everything that we do. And our dedication, user-first approach to how we built our creation and operation platforms means that today we are the leading platform for creating and operating interactive real-time 3D content, right? This is content actually that's also 2D. That doesn't have to be 3D, but we like to use real-time 3D as a sort of like catchphrase or a little expression. One of the core tenets of Unity is the create once. So you have an authoring tool where you create your content, and then you can deploy that content to over 20 platforms. So you don't have to customize heavily your experience for it to work across many devices. And this has led to some incredible growth for Unity as a content creation tool. And we see today 71% of all the major or the top 1,000 mobile games are built with Unity, right? This is really where we have a lot of our leadership. It's in mobile, very heavily optimized games. And obviously, partially due to the pandemic, but also our way of life, mobile is king now. It's really, everyone has a mobile devices in their pockets. And a lot of the games that they play are actually made with Unity, including the ones mentioned there. We also are expanding in consoles. We are present on all the major consoles, being Xbox, PS, PlayStation, the legacy or latest releases. And Falconeer is a great example of a great success, a launch title made with Unity for the Xbox and the PlayStation 5. Right? The Switch is also one of the most popular platform today, one of the most popular consoles that took the market by storm, and over half of the games on the Switch are made with Unity. This also translates to big numbers, I would say, right? So on a monthly basis, we can see 5 billion downloads of applications made with Unity. We connect directly or engage with over, sorry, I hear. Can you guys hear me? Yeah, okay, sorry, I heard there's some noise in the background. Apologies for that. The one key statistic that I love is that on a daily basis, we are seeing about 13,000 projects being created every day, right? So those are new projects created by people using Unity. And that's actually the top 10 auto manufacturers are all using Unity in their process, right? And to highlight these, for example, Volvo is using Unity to improve collaboration between designers and engineers, save money by reducing their reliance on physical prototypes for their vehicles, right? But also engaging car buyers with immersive experiences and accelerating the autonomous driving development by generating a lot of the synthetic data or testing their AI and machine learning within Unity or using Unity. We're seeing, for example, in aerospace, Lockheed Martin using remote caves or immersive setups built around the technology they call ChillNet, for example, to collaborate and also reduce the reliance on physical wheels and reliance on physical meetings, right? So costly travel across globally. In 2019, they managed to, for example, reduce their travel costs by $500,000, but also reduce, they qualified or quantified that they avoided about 10 million in cost by using VR assisted validation, right, to allow the discovery of and resolution, sorry, of issues while doing so much earlier in the development because they didn't have to rely on the physical prototype. And ChillNet is obviously built on top of Unity. We see this also with Toyota, for example, that is using Unity, machine learning, and the HoloLens by Microsoft to guide their expert, the technicians, right, through the maintenance and repair process to make sure that they avoid errors, often overlook a little step that can have, that can carry consequences if it's not detected or corrected immediately, right? And for example, what else can you do with real-time 3D? Well, IKEA Place, yeah, I don't know if you've tried it, but this is built with Unity and is also a great way to bring the IKEA store to your house, right? And put their furniture inside your space and visualize immediately what it's going to look like. Does it fit? Does it correspond to what you expect? The Volkswagen is using Unity in a novel way. So we call that image or media on demand. So they are generating all of the images and videos that you see on the ID4 website globally using Unity. This is not necessarily in real time, but on demand. So when, for example, a customer requests a specific configuration for the ID4, that hasn't been requested before, the image is automatically generated in Unity on the server and then served to that user. And also you can see with the Volvo XC40 example here, creating immersive interactive product configurators using Unity. And those can also be for in VR, right? If you want to find out more, I'll share the slides with the group at the end so that you'll get access to them. But you can take your phone and snap this QR code in order to access, for example, the Forma configurator online. So this is using our Forma, which is an SDK, a tool that makes it easier to create complex configurators with cars. It's also fully extensible, so you can customize it. So again, it's not a finite solution. It's something that you can take on and customize for your customers or for your projects. Here is the version hosted on Furious, which is a cloud streaming technology that's part of the Unity group, and where you can stream very high resolution, high fidelity content to any device via the browser. You can also test Forma, for example, for WebGL, so natively inside the browser. And this is one of the outputs that we are working on in order to make it easier to create this type of 3D configurators. As Mo mentioned, Unity is invested to partner, so through Center of Excellencies like Host, but also we are a member of the MTC, the Manufacturing Technology Center in Coventry, right? And these are trade groups which are pivotal to understand our industrial customers, work closely with them, right? They have other members include Airbus, Rolls-Royce, DMG Mori, ABB, so all the big names inside the industrial space, including, for example, BAE Systems, right, in the UK. And we want to encourage, mentor new generations to work with Unity within the industrial space, but also work with them to understand where are the gaps and what solutions can be built on top of Unity to streamline or optimize the process of manufacturing in the truly challenging world that we are living in today. On a more entertainment side, Unity is heavily used in the media and entertainment area, not only games, but also virtual production, for example, the Lion King virtual production, the latest release directed by Jon Favreau, was entirely pre-shot inside Unity using a virtual production system. And as you can see in the white frame, this is the Unity render where the director would walk the set and validate the shots, and then that data will be sent to further down the line to the CG pipeline, the computer generated images pipeline, in order for them to create the final shots that you would see in the movie. Funny note, this PSA announcements from Lego about COVID and making sure that people understood that, what to do in social distancing times was actually created and rendered inside Unity and then published on the web. They actually won our 2020 award for Best Animated Short. And the images that you see were fully rendered inside Unity and then exported as a video to share on YouTube and all the social networks. One of the key area for Unity's adoption inside the industrial space mostly, but also consumer space, is XR. We support all of the major XR platforms. We have direct relationship with the one on screen right now. That means we have close engineering ties with them. We work together to make sure that Unity works flawlessly with those platforms. That includes the two major mobile AR platforms with ARKit, ARCore for Apple and Google respectively, the immersive head-mounted AR platforms like Microsoft HoloLens and the Magic Leap, and VR platforms like Oculus, obviously Windows Mixed Reality, PlayStation VR, and OpenXR, which is the new open source, open standard for XR development. And we are working with the Kronos group that's leading the creation of the standardization of this new platform in order to make sure it's integrated inside Unity. We also work closely with hardware vendors like Vario, for example, which is not a consumer device due to the costs, but more really a industry first headset with very high resolution screen, the ability to bring in some of the physical items inside your space, inside a virtual experience, so blend really the physical and the virtual. And we have signed them as a verified solution partner. So we are working closely with them to make sure that not only their software or the software development is as streamlined as possible to deploy to their, to render on their headsets, but also make sure that their SDK, their software development kit that you use inside the Unity editor to create experiences or to target value works as good as it can. Another area that I want to mention, because it is really important for growth at Unity and inside our community, and this is really a topic of the day, it's AI, machine learning, and simulation. This is really also one of the areas where using a real-time 3D engine is critical in order to generate synthetic data, for example. So this is why we have the perception package that you can see in the middle. Traditionally, this is something that is done manually, right? So humans are looking at frames and tagging objects inside those frames. This is very slow, very costly, and often very narrow data sets that are heavily biased from where they were captured, right? So in the process, in the idea of inclusion, but also privacy, using synthetic data generated inside a 3D engine makes it a lot cheaper, a lot faster, and also allows you to really customize the synthetic data to make sure that it reflects, for example, skin tones or architectures or specificities of environments where those autonomous robots are going to operate. So something very critical, and again, an area of growth for Unity that is really interesting and something you can check out. We have a perception package, but also a robotics integration, so you can test, seeing robots that are able to do tasks based on computer vision, but also robotics manipulation. ML Agents is also a great little package, which is actually super popular on GitHub. All of this is open source, by the way. ML Agents allows you to train machine learning agents from the Unity runtime. So you can see, for example, in that little GIF there, that's playing a Xbox controller with controlling a game on the computer. So this is being controlled by the machine learning trained algorithm, and is playing basically balance the ball on the paddle. And all of this has been developed and is using Unity and Arduino. And finally, AI Planner, for example, which is a great runtime to do decision trees. Again, this is being used, for example, to automatically generate assembly instructions or generate training steps, and optimize procedures in order to make sure they are as optimal as possible. So as you can see, whether it is inside gaming, machine learning and AI, as I just mentioned, XR, business process, right, including immersive training or collaborative process, Unity is being used by our creators to accelerate the way or transform the way they design, engineer, manufacture, maintain, and their products. And with this, I'd like to end off to the panel. So here are my details. Feel free to contact me on LinkedIn if you have further questions. And yeah, I'll be happy to engage with the community at host. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that, Jerome. So After this great walkthrough of Unity, we're now moving over to our Director of Immersive Technology, Simon Benson, who will be leading our industry panel. So Simon, I'll leave the introductions to you.
Hello, hi. Can you all hear me okay, yeah? So first of all, thanks a lot for coming along. What I want to do to get started, I mean, we've got a great panel lined up for you, an unbelievable panel in fact, but given it's Zoom, we'll get to that in a second. We'll go through people one at a time because it's a bit hard to introduce everybody at once. But what I wanted to do first was tell you a little bit about my story to fill you in on sort of why I'm here, what I do and things like that. So I've got a very long history of working in real-time development, which is pretty much what Unity is. That's a real-time development tool. But I started out way before real-time existed. Sorry, way before Unity existed. It was just called real-time development, and it came along. So I've seen its entire growth to where it is now. So where I started off in military R&D, working on Eurofighter Typhoon before it was a finished thing, as a simulation engineer, right back in the 90s. So trained as a programmer. So that's how I started. Trained as a programmer, worked in military R&D for BAE Systems. I also was fortunate enough to work on Formula One simulator for a famous racing team, which is a professional engineering simulator. So again, come from this background that Jerome's been talking about a lot of engineering focus for real-time graphics. But then I moved into video games, and you can probably see behind me, this is my history of video games behind me here. So I had 20 years in video games, which I absolutely loved. Creating games, you know, worked as a programmer initially and grew into management roles. We took a team of 3 of us and turned it into a company of 180 people in about 5 years, and eventually became part of Sony. So I then became the director of immersive technology for PlayStation. So in that role, I was fortunate to be able to create some amazing technology. So going back to my time in military when we did all sorts of fancy things with AR, VR and all these kind of things, but it was really, really expensive. A lot of my knowledge I gained there, again, coming back to just having been a real-time programmer, taught me a lot of new different skills that I could apply in different ways. So I was actually one of the people that invented, if you like, stereoscopic gaming on PlayStation 3. And then I moved on to new things where I was one of the co-founders of PlayStation Virtual Reality. So worked across that from its very inception to see it to market and everything. So, you know, working with all different parts of the business to deliver PlayStation Virtual Reality. And in the process, got 50 patents in my name for inventing immersive technology as well. So, you know, again, all coming back to my programming heritage. Now, for me, when I started out, my dad was a plumber. So everyone in my family knew nothing about technology really. So I was kind of on my own. And again, as Mo went back to at the beginning, I was sort of a leap of faith when I became a programmer, because I had nobody to guide me or hold my hand or let me know, even if there was a job at the end of it. I had absolutely no idea. I kind of just did it because I loved it and had a passion for it. So that's what took me into it. And I just kept putting one foot in front of the other all the way down the line, and built my entire career off the back of being effectively, you know, a programmer, a real-time engineer at the beginning of my career. And in that path, I was lucky enough to meet all sorts of people. You'd always think you're just going to sit in front of a computer and that's all you're going to do. But in actual fact, I met Steven Spielberg, Mark Zuckerberg, Sir David Attenborough, and listed along as your arm other celebrities, because I was in this field of programming, because people want to do creative opportunities and they want to know how this technology can do different things. And it's surprising where you get to that you would never have anticipated when you set off down the path. So from my perspective, I've been heavily involved in creating this academy. It's something I'm very passionate about, because I've seen where my career took me from these modest beginnings, if you like. And this academy, I think, is a fantastic opportunity. You've probably heard already from Jerome some of the amazing things that you can do with Unity. It's such a massive tool set these days, and we've got so many opportunities stacked on top of it. And, you know, from my perspective, having worked with a lot of people on the design of this course, the things we've been looking at is we have Unity themselves delivering the training. You know, that's unheard of, to be actually taught directly by Unity themselves, you know, and obviously they know, they make the tools, so they know what they're doing. So to be taught by them is almost unheard of. Again, us as hosts, we're hand in hand there to mentor and guide and help everyone on this program to succeed. And that involves lots of different aspects. You know, we've all been there and done that. We've got careers in this industry, and we know what the formula is to make that work. You know, our friends run a lot of the studios around here. We've grown up with these people, and we talk to them and we know what they want and what we want to put into it. And that's really the sort of things that form this. So there's a lot of things in the program where there's a lot of industrial engagement, where we actually do an actual project hand in hand with industry. And we'll be talking to Andrew Connell later about that element of how we're actually not only learn the skills of utilizing Unity and becoming a professional programmer, but then you get certified at an internationally recognized standard so that everybody out there, every employer knows your capability. They know that you're not just someone who can use a tool, but you're someone who can use a tool for engineering applications and actually deliver something with it. So that's much more than you get from most other places. And again, the other thing we do, as Mo mentioned, we then work directly with people to hold their hand into employment, to say, we're going to help you with all the right skills that we've learned by talking to people in our industry about what they really want, what they're looking for in an applicant. So we work hand in hand with them for that, and then we help guide people into this with guaranteed interviews, all sorts of things like that to make sure that we help you out with that journey. So, and again, like I say, everyone I know who's in the industry always asks me, do you know any Unity engineers? And I'm forever going to say, I'm sorry, they're all employed. There's literally hardly any on the market. It's such a high demand skill set. Because once upon a time, Unity was all about games development. That's the main thing it was known for. But that's very different. But when I say only games, I mean, games itself is massive. It's bigger than every other media industry added together. It's like 10 times the size of all the video streaming industries. It's a huge, huge industry in its own right. And yet nowadays, it's not just about games. It's the whole industry has looked at this space for real-time development and said, we all want a slice of this. We want these skills. And when you look to the future, the reality of the future is that more than likely, everyone believes we will no longer be walking around with our smartphones in our hands, with wearing augmented reality glasses, instead of having to keep looking down at our screen. Our world will be filled with our digital world. And that will all be three-dimensional, interactive things, cloud rendered to our glasses. That is our future, and that's not that far away. And that means that everything that we do, like the websites and everything, will all be different. They'll all be now using this underlying tech. So that's what it's going to create, this even bigger demand for this skill set. So genuinely, this idea of being a Unity programmer is a job for life. But anyway, that's enough about my spiel. I'll now get back to my panel. So first of all, I'm lucky enough to be joined by Dr. Maria Stukoff. She's the Director of Makerspace at the University of Salford at Media City, co-chair of eSports Industry Collaboration Program, and the former head of PlayStation Academic Game Development Program. So very, very high caliber. So question for you, Maria. Can you give us some insight into the significance of Unity programming from an academic perspective?
Oh, look, I wish I had a long credentials of famous people to kickstart my part of this, although I have met Prince William a few times through our common work, Simon, across PlayStation. So first of all, I'm really excited to be leading on the University of Salford's partnership with HOST and the Unity Centre of Excellence on Campus programme. For us, it's really important to position the university as a leading institution, really, in the development of this professional level 3D skills in immersive technology, XR research, and also the innovation associated with the Unity platform. It is about sharing our ambitions here to stay at the forefront of educational excellence, especially within the MediaCityUK arena, and actually build also on our universities and regional industrial heritage. And why I bring this up is because Unity programming skills is not only to encompass game development or XR innovations, as we mentioned, let's say in health, but as Jerome also just mentioned in yourself and Mo, it also encompasses and integrates Unity skills into architecture, engineering, and the manufacturing subjects that we have, and it will underpin key subject areas that really utilize the Industry 4.0 acceleration. And these 3D tools really open up new career paths for students across creative, digital, and engineering. It's almost I think all of us have wished we could pull this technology together. And finally, I think we're finding platforms where this is now possible to be really immersive and really find how this kind of technologies will enable us to do some really amazing things that has only been really in our digital minds, perhaps. And you know what, for us as a major university across Greater Manchester with a campus on Media City, we work closely with industry. So it's a no-brainer for us to come on board with the Unity Centre of Excellence on Campus programme. And we really want to stay abreast with industry trends. We want to ensure that we put that professional level general knowledge skills into our syllabus, make sure that our students have that industry network to bring really careers alive. Many of us still don't really know what to call some of these careers just around the corner. So, you know, working hand in hand is going to really boost the students' employability. It's a really significant opportunity here because all the courses will have this certification within programming skills, not for staff and for students as well, and to really be recognized by industry and have that confidence to take our graduates into the jobs and have that internationally recognized Unity professional certification. You know, I couldn't think of anything better to say, I've got this, here's my job. And for graduates, and also for graduates from within this academy, not just university, to hit the ground running and, you know, really shape this industry. I guess in part it's not only making our campus that beacon, I guess, for talent pipelines into our industries, but it really becomes that our region is that top spot for talent acquisition. So for me, you know, it's really, really exciting to have not only the university part of this fantastic, you know, industry partnership, if you like to see it, but actually that we have these fantastic academies to bring new talent onto our campus as well, and who knows, to work with the innovation, with AXA research in future. So for me, yeah, it's a no-brainer. And especially on a personal note, you know, I always wanted to be either an astronaut or I wanted to be a deep sea diver. I never had qualifications enough for that. Terrible truant. But you know what? Through immersive technologies, through using QuickTime VR for my actually studies, that's what I utilized. I've been able to create a career within immersive worlds, which is far outweighed, I think, the possibility of the universe and deep sea. So for that, I can only say that this fantastic opportunity will broaden the horizon and bring some really exciting projects into our partnership.
Brilliant. Thanks, Maria. Thanks a lot for that. Some amazing points there and great stuff. I want to move on quickly now to my next member of the panel, which is Taran Singh. So Taran is the Director of Interactive 3D Design at Taran 3D. Also, we're fortunate to have Taran as our Head of Technical Skills in the Academy too. So Taran, quick question for you. You built an entire business around the use of Unity. Can you tell us a bit of your background and how that fits into your, how Unity fits into your story?
Yeah, hi Simon, thanks. Yeah, well, I didn't have a conventional route into like 3D design. I left school without any GCSEs, but I was really interested in computer games. And I especially love like looking at the architecture and exploring environments, because we didn't used to go on holiday that much. And so it was my way of kind of exploring. So yeah, I love computer games. I started to teach myself how to 3D model and sculpt 3D digitally. And then when I came across Unity, I just thought it was such an amazing tool that I could now take my 3D models and allow people to interact with them. So I was mainly working with architectural and interior design companies, creating still images of kind of proposed designs. And what I was able to do with Unity was able to kind of allow people to actually walk around those environments. And when the recent generation of VR headsets came around in 2015, 2016, which is quite new actually, I was able to kind of pour all of my content, just as Jerome said, I was able to pour all that content over to VR and AR, and then I started to specialize in that. And I went on to kind of work in architectural industry, engineering industry, creating interactive presentations. You know, they're like little games really, but they actually give you a lot of information about engineering solutions. So I became very good. I made a career out of actually taking boring information from engineers and making it very interesting and exciting and looking very nice. And what ended up happening was I was getting like 3 or 4 job offers a week for Unity developer in Brighton, in London, or here or there. And I just like, the demand is crazy. So I actually just left and started a business. And I started it 2 years ago. And during COVID, our business actually doubled because the demand for virtual kind of experiences kind of ballooned, because you could no longer take your product to the customer or your customer to your environment, but we could do that virtually. And pretty much my business, you know, just went crazy from there really. So I've been using Unity for 10 years. And in the first year of our business, we won Outstanding Startup Business of the Year for Birmingham Chamber of Commerce. And 100% of our projects are done with Unity.
That's fantastic, and again, just shows the amount of growth and demand there is in this sector at the moment for the skills. Thank you very much for that, Taran. Next, I have Andy Connell, so I'll like to introduce to him. So Andy is the Chief Technology Officer at V360 Group, a business specialising in VR and immersive experiences in high hazard industries and beyond. Now, V360 are kindly supporting the Academy by putting the industry project in there. So for you, Andy, I just wanted to ask you the question about the project itself. So you're providing the project, and can you let us know a bit more about your experience in that area and things you've done in the past, because you've got a very long history of working with people in this kind of industry and in real-time software, and let us know a little bit what the cohort can expect from your experience.
Well, I have the fortune or misfortune to have spent almost 31 years working in virtual reality. I think I'm quite probably the longest serving inmate in the world of VR. I started in 1990 when I was working at, what's that university? Oh, Salford, that's the one, doing my degree in microelectronics. And I moved into VR. And what I did was I got very much involved in the commercial applications of VR. So for 30 years, I've been working to apply virtual reality technologies to solve industrial, commercial, business problems. I never went into gaming. It's weird. At that point, there wasn't the money in gaming. There was no deployment mechanism. People couldn't afford the kind of computers and the headsets to run 3D gaming back then. So 3D middleware almost didn't exist. So this is before the days when, this is when VR was proper hard. You know, you had to start from yourself. There was nothing but you and a compiler. But we worked for years to develop these industrial solutions. And I built my own business that way. In the end, well, I sold mine out a few years ago to a private equity company. But then we built it what was based originally at Salford and then based down in Sale. We built Europe's biggest commercial virtual reality company and the most profitable one. And it was great that business was based in Salford and Manchester, and it came out of what was a PhD program at the University of Salford. So you can pay me later.
So you're on the industry engagement side, what specifically are the things that you're going to put in place there? Because again, you've got a lot of experience of training people, haven't you, in terms of how to bring them up to speed and making them the right sort of project.
Exactly. So this is exactly it. So how do you make a project successful at a company? You find a small problem and you fix it well. And one of the best ways to fix an industrial problem is actually visualization. You do it on a pen and paper, you do it in CAD, you do it in a simulation system, it's great. But if you can solve that problem in VR, you can communicate that solution to anyone in the company, be it sales, marketing, health and safety, customer training. So you make that problem accessible to people throughout the industry. So what we're going to be looking at for these small industrial projects are things which are very similar to the problems which we solve for customers. And our clients, people like mentioned, like Raytheon with the microwave, I sold them millions of pounds worth of VR software over the years. The site where they invented the microwave runs my VR designs. But they have lots of little problems. So yes, they need big solutions to big problems. But at the start, they think, oh, can we get this thing through the factory? Oh, let's build a VR model to show how it works. Oh, can somebody reach in there and fit this part in this machine? Well, let's build a VR model, put some in a headset. You could do it with a mannequin, but let's put a headset on and try it for ourselves. These can be really quick. We call them micro simulations. But you build these things, can be a few weeks' time, and it solves a problem. And the best thing to do for a commercial project is solve a whole problem. People tend to pick too big a thing and just solve a part of it. But pick something you can solve in 2 weeks, 1 month, and show you've started from beginning to end, and I have fixed something for somebody. And you create that solution, you can parlor that into a job, a career. But the key thing, have an example where you've taken a problem, you've solved it, and you've made something better for somebody.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot for that, Andrew. And now for my last panel guest, I'd like to introduce Simon Smith. So Simon's the chair of Gameopolis. He's also, that's the Greater Manchester Video Games Network, and also Senior Games Scout at Team 17, probably a job that most of us are probably envious of. So Simon, first question for you. So you have a long history in games industry and obviously very well connected through all your different networks, including obviously Team 17 that you're primarily leading on there. What can you tell us about the demand for professionally skilled Unity programmers across the UK in particular at the moment?
Well, there's a lot of jobs going and a lot of, the games industry is massively growing. Nearly every games company grew 30 to 40% last year, sales updates. And there's high demand for games. It's a growing industry. We like I said, all the sales have gone up, and we just need more people to make games and a lot of games are being made in Unity. So it stands to reason that if you get some training in Unity, you'll make yourself a lot more employable, because there's a lot of call for it. So demand equals job opportunities, and good job opportunities, and people are paying good wages. I said to Simon earlier that the average salary in the games industry is £35,000 in the UK. And that's just average. That's for every job role. For programmers, it's I think something like £42,000 in the UK. So they're very well-paid jobs, and if you work in the games industry, it can be a lot of fun because you're making games.
And again, as Jerome mentioned before, Unity is noted to account for, as he mentioned, 71% of the top 1,000 mobile games and 60% of all VR content. Given your connection to so many companies that use Unity, why do you think it's become so significant as a development tool?
Cheap and easy to use.
Definitely, totally.
What more do you want? What more do you want? Everyone can, anyone now, you could be downloading Unity now while we're on this webinar and have it all set up in a few minutes. It doesn't even take very long to set up. I'm a designer and I can use Unity. I don't know how to do programming, but I use Unity. I can use Unity all the time. I can design levels. It's all in real time. I can update it via source control. And my programmer who I work with, because I'm making a game on my own time as well, the programmer can just, have it straight away. It just gets updated in a few seconds. He downloads it to his computer and it all automatically goes into Unity. It's beautiful. And you don't have to pay any money to get started. You only have to pay, for when your games come out and make money, and you can learn how to use it. Sorry, I lost the end bit of the question there, Simon. But yeah, it's cheap and easy to use. That's why it's so popular.
And again,
and really powerful. You can do loads of cool shit. That's what we want to do.
Yeah. And again, I guess next question to Maria actually. During your time at PlayStation, when you were doing a lot of the stuff with developing a lot of studios, things like that yourself, you worked with very early stage businesses and students, so people at the very beginning of their careers in a lot of regards, who went on to create some amazing games. How do Unity skills fit into that picture?
Oh, it was absolutely essential, especially when we moved into sort of accelerating third-party games, and it was much more open for independent game developers. Sorry, I have a slight echo. To become their own publishers on the platform. What was really essential at that point was that we set up student studios as part of the curriculum, so almost like a simulated work environment. We ensured that they had the full set of tools to create. Unity was top of our list at that time, of course, and it was fantastic because we could get these vertical slices that could work in real team environments. Really appreciate how you also build the smart skills of how you work in teams, what some of the other elements are, from lighting to storytelling to the various other skill sets that are required within the games industry to create a game. So once these students then we were looking then of course to publish that, and who wouldn't want to publish their first game made on Unity on a PlayStation console? I mean, hurrah, fantastic opportunity. And I think this is what we're trying to achieve here. Again, part of Self at University is to have a set of inspired talent across the sectors now, not just game development, that really bring their passion and learning the tools, but at that level which is constantly evolving, having access to some of these new professional tools to really set the standard.
Thanks very much. And now time's coming to a close on the panel, so I'll ask one final question, and that will go to Simon actually, because again, with my games background, I'm slightly biased on this one, but I want to ask Simon, what would you say to anyone who's considering becoming a Unity programmer as an opportunity to build a career in the games industry?
Do it. You'll make loads of money and make cool stuff and have fun and be able to do VR and games. And, we don't have enough programmers, so you'll get paid decent wages and you can live all over the world, because you could be programming on a beach in Singapore and then the next week you could be working in San Francisco, but obviously you're based in Manchester, which is cool. Salford. Yeah, it's great. It's no brainer, really.
Yeah, totally agree. Thanks very much, Simon. Thanks to everyone on my panel. So I'll now hand back over to Amy Newton. Thank you very much.
Hello. Wow, what an amazing panel. What amazing inspirational stories. Because you know, so interesting, isn't it? You forget how inspiring people's stories are of getting into AR and VR and just the gaming industry in general. So thank you so much to everyone who's contributed the time, particularly on a Monday evening. We've had a really, really good turnout. So I just wanted to say hello to everyone and say, if you have any questions about the course, or if you want to find out what the realities are, how the course is going to be delivered, how you're going to go about getting interviews at the end with companies, and also if you kind of want a little bit of a temperature check on how the rest of the tech industry perceives a Unity certification, please do get in touch. Absolutely no pressure. I'm here to have some really casual chats with people, and also to let you know, I guess, the pastoral side a little bit. So when you do a course at Host, you aren't just kind of thrown information. An awful lot of work goes into making sure that it's really inclusive. We really care that people bring their full self to the course. So that means that we'll be having conversations about how we can support you, how the course best suits you from, I guess, a diversity perspective. That's really key as well. So the best email that we've got there is hostcoe@infogroup.co.uk. If anybody has any special requirements, please do feel free to let me know. I'm Diversity and Inclusion Ambassador for Host. So if you have learning requirements, or if you're really interested in the course, but you've maybe done courses like this before and they weren't that inclusive for you, please do reach out, because you know we really have put an awful lot of effort to make sure that this is as inclusive as it possibly can be. So the email address is there, or you can go to the website in general, and yeah, it'd be great to hear from you and find out a little bit more about all the people who are interested in doing the course. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Amy. And thank you, everybody, for coming along today. I'd like to thank all our speakers, both Simon Benson, Simon Smith, Dr. Maria Stukoff, Andrew, Amy, Mo, and Jerome. And thank you to everybody for joining us today. If you are interested, I am dropping the links into the chat now for you to apply. There we go. And please get in touch, check out the website. That's www.hostcoe.com. Other than that, have a great evening.
Thank you, everyone. Great to be here.